It's working.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 4th. Copied. Second.
All in favor? Without decision.
All payroll and at least sign.
Is it a real good part? Yeah, and one of them has its minutes.
Just paying, it's all.
Probably the junction.
Okay, informational meetings. We have two informational meetings left. One is for the short-term rental, which will take place next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the community center. There will be members of the planning board there to answer questions. We need to figure out when we're going to do the animal control ordinance informational. So, community center wise, it's better if we do it on a Wednesday, so we're not more up the practices and whatever else they got going on. So, the following Wednesday, which would be.
So what's the date on the?
The 26th is gonna be short-term rental.
Okay.
You wanna do the 5th, March 5th for the animal control?
Well, are we running out of time?
Well, we didn't do informational, because then right before we go to. Yeah, we're gonna have to do the, required, public hearings. Well. I know that I figured if we do the informationals, we should do like an hour and a half block, 30 minutes for each public hearing for those 3 days. You know what I mean? But not, because we gotta get moving on the line.
All right.
So,
On the animal control, the state's got a legislator, LD 133.
Yep.
Yeah, there's copies of it, and then it's,
yeah, Rick sent me one.
so did he, okay, I didn't know if,
Yeah.
anybody else wants, I got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna give one to Brian, and I give one to Cindy.
Yeah. It's being introduced.
It's what?
It's just being introduced. It's on the floor for this year.
Legislature's, introducing the LD 133 for, nuisance dogs.
Yeah, I think it's April is when it hits the clearance. I got a call on the Rick Denton. Because he's the sponsor of it.
Yeah,
Mugs,
Denton.
William Mugs,
No, Rick Denton, the
the
Senate.
okay.
Yeah,
Leavenworth.
he's sponsored with, Nick Watt. I just talked to Nick last week. So I'll reach out and find out. It's really not what I thought it was gonna be. So are we good with the 5th of March, 6 p.m.? Cool. That'll be for the
March
animal control, yes,
6 p.m.
yep,
What day is that?
it's a Wednesday.
and that's here at the community.
Community center.
Okay.
And that's the last of the informational meetings. So if you could advertise that as well as the
Short-term
short-term
rentals
rental
at 6
and
also.
the.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, over at 6. Okay, that's.
So I think I misunderstood because I thought we were going to do the short-term rental on the 25th right after the select board meeting.
No, that was a CRC.
Years.
Yeah, the resiliency committee,
Okay,
that should be right after, on the 25th, after the
yes, okay.
Buttons meeting, and then the 26th will be the informational.
Yes,
So the information, both informationals, is advertising the shop shop.
okay.
Go here. Okay, we have the new updated, legally reviewed personnel policy. I'd like to make the motion. We had the executive with the attorney. All appropriate changes were made. We'll make a motion that we accept this. Second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor? Perfect. So last page.
That's right.
With the personnel policy, all town employees. We drafted that letter. What was your personnel policy review for signature? We do that already?
For all the employees?
Yes.
I didn't write the letter, but
Please write that letter. All town employees have reviewed the updated policy and sign and
Okay,
a date. Will allow 14 days from today.
okay.
Okay, Conway incinerator, they currently truck our waste and recycling. And it's time to do something, folks. We're currently at $320 per container per trip. And it is just gone up to 700 per trip. And going to the end of this fiscal year, which was June 30, estimated we're going to be $69,020 over. So, also the container rentals have gone up by $100 a piece. So, yeah,
And they were 50.
yeah. So we're really looking at a exponential increase in cost. So, it's my opinion, I'll speak to my colleagues, but I think it's time that as a town, we looked at getting our own truck and adding an employee to the public works so that we can truck our own trash. Just rudimentary math, if we were to take $50,000 payroll, 25,000 for benefits, taxes, insurance, the whole 9 yards. That's 75,000. And currently we raised and appropriated for this year 82,000 just for trucking. So with this more than double increase, we could probably get a truck, I'm gonna guess around 100 grand. Spend 175 with a newly created position, and our ROI just in savings from these new rates would be a 2-year term. So I really think with this large of an increase, we seriously need to think about this. Just with the trucking alone, raised and appropriated 82,000. They more than doubled the price, so that's $164,000 just in trucking. So I think it would be an exponential savings to have our own truck and have an employee, well, in actuality, 4 to 5 employees that have the ability to run the truck to either Maine or Carberry to the landfill. So yeah, we need to do something.
Can you give me a date on when that comes?
No, in the email. Good evening. I have refigured the hauling price of $700 per trip. Per conversation with Rick Emery, rental on the roll-offs would be $150 per month. I can type up a contract for a year or two. Let me know what you'd like to do. Sincerely, Kathy. So, I have some questions into the auditor. Rudimentary, there's gonna be roughly $250,000 that's in the transfer station reserve account. So my question to the auditor is, if the select board, as long as the money is utilized for the transfer station, which obviously a roll off of it. Can't use it for public works, it's meant to haul dumpsters. We can't reconfigure it, so, if we have to, go to the taxpayers for permission to expend money to buy a truck. And there would be 3 containers because we're, or no, 4 containers that we would have to purchase. So, that question's out there, but I'm interested in what you taxpayers have to say about this.
I'm in favor of it. I think it's a good idea. One of the first questions I have is that this type of truck would fellas at the Department of Public Works be able to maintain it and work on it, for, various repairs.
Yes, it's no different really than the plow trucks that we have.
And what do you think the possibilities are that maybe a town like Denmark or Hiram would go in on it with us? Since
I couldn't answer that question. I don't, I can't promise you anything, but I talked with, what's her name, the town manager? Betty. I know her real well. I talked with Betty anyway. Just throw the idea out there. She said, well, we might consider it. She didn't say, give us any promises. We didn't talk any figures or anything. Just because I knew it was coming, I just said, oh, maybe we should look into it a little bit.
Another question, do you think this could be a bang type of thing where we get the truck right away and then avoid having to pay that 69,000 that we're gonna have to pay for the next 3 months, or do you think it's gonna take a while?
Well, we're gonna have, I need the legal question answered on the money expenditure. Otherwise, if we have to go to the taxpayers ask, I gotta pull another special town meeting for it. So, we haven't looked at a truck. We don't, we need to figure out pricing, that kind of thing. We also need to talk to Public Works because we can't create, it would take town meeting to create that position. That 4th position. The problem we're gonna run into is if we don't add another position, we have 3 people at Public Works that can drive the trucks. Well, if it's a snowstorm, what's the priority? So we need to have coverage to make sure that we can get the trash hauled out of there and not hinder taking care of the roads for public safety. So we can't do a position until town meeting. And then of course, again, it's going to depend on the taxpayers, whether they want to accept that and create that position to pay that money.
So do you think it might be feasible if you could get a truck right away? And let's just say it's after winter, like no more snow plowing, that you could use one of the guys there to start making those trips, prior to the town meeting.
I don't see a problem with it, but I haven't talked to the Public Works director. I mean, we have one of the transfer station employees, Pat Lewis, has CDL. So, we would want to essentially make him a full-time employee if he wants to do it. But we have a little bit of coverage. You know what I mean? So we might be able to work it. But I really want to have a conversation with Public Works first. If we could get a truck within a month, I don't see why we can't. I mean, and even if we were to continue with the container route at a fucking half a piece until we can get new ones that we own, You know what I mean? It would help in the offset of that 69,000, that's for sure.
One thing I think could make quite a difference is she could give us a date when she's gonna start charging, because if she could give us this fiscal year, our fiscal year, you know what I mean, our budget year. In other words, go till the end of June, then because it's quite a step. You know,
Oh, yeah.
buying a truck is one thing, but putting on another employee is another thing.
Yep.
I think it might be wise to let taxpayers decide if they want to do it.
Right? No, I agree, 100%.
I think we should,
But, you know, I'm not trying to rush anything,
You know,
but if,
well, when you're talking $60,000, it kind of makes one rush to full right.
well, if Conway Incinerator says, no, it takes effect March 1st, it is what it is. You know, we don't have a choice. We're stuck.
Yeah,
So I don't want to waste a lot of time on this. So I would request that we have a workshop with Public Works Director,
yeah,
sit down, have a chat. See if we can figure something out.
So Frank makes a good point, and we probably have a contract with them right now.
We don't,
We
no,
don't.
the last one, excuse me, the last one that we signed was 2019. And we're just month to month. So. Don't get me wrong, Kathy, nice, you know, I love Kathy right to death. That woman is a hot ticket. But she's running the business, so she's gonna make a business decision, so. It is what it is.
yeah.
Several times this issue was discussed, at least amongst the Board of Selectmen, when I was serving. And I was opposed. A number of reasons I was opposed. I no longer feel that way. I think it's time. It's time to make the move. But I can't help but think this, so I'm going to say it. Just a couple of months ago, that lady that runs the business was sitting right there
Yes, sir.
with the driver,
Yes,
and
sir.
everything was wonderful. Oh, we're all pals, yeah, out the door she goes. Then she doubles the price. I brought in a copy of the contract to Alvina
Mhm.
just several weeks ago
Yeah.
and said, this expired. We need to know what they're doing. We called and called and called. We could never even get her on the phone. It was always, she's not here, or she's too busy. We never got one way. As a matter of fact, there was two contracts. The guy that comes and takes the whatever it is out of the back of the refrigerators up with
Yeah.
the transfer. His letter is like 9 years old. But I don't know, she came here, was she invited?
Yes.
Oh. Well, all right, but maybe.
Well, at the time,
And she doubles the price.
we were having problems with trash being dumped down there, getting containers out. There were a few little issues. We needed to make sure we were square on. So, and of course, the typical yearly, you know, stuff's gonna go to Carberry because we can't get it out.
Yeah.
Eco Maine won't touch it.
Yeah.
So, that's what the discussion was about. And I agree. A couple months ago, they didn't know then. You know, a little heads up, and then we get an email, what, January 31st, or something like that, 30? That.
Well, I
oh, by the
think,
way.
I think those numbers pretty much decide the issue.
but you're gonna do something.
That we should have a meeting and the townsfolk should get the vote on whatever, but my take on it has not changed. I've gone over to the other side.
A lot of things changing there, Bill, since you got that.
Yeah, that's.
Right.
Get it with you?
Yeah. So, you guys want to set up the workshop?
Yeah, I think we should review it before we just jump into something.
When you're on there. Maybe you come the other way.
Why you wouldn't, obviously daytime, that's allowed, so you would go down this time,
5,
just straight up.
5 or 6.
On our calendar,
We could do a workshop. We need to also talk about. Tractor. We're gonna do that. Guy right there. Willie, we do a workshop Thursday night,
Yep,
5:30,
sure.
right here.
Yep.
This Thursday,
this Thursday,
yes. And that would be, Willie, what, have you looked at or come up with the equipment for a tractor? Roundabout, anything at all?
Yeah, we've looked at two different options for the field. So anything from a heavy duty lawn tractor with a small bucket to a small tractor with a bucket and the York rake. Then a few weeks ago looked at a few online.
Okay, so let's do Thursday, 5:30 right here.
with Willie,
To Jeff, and can you reach out to Cole? Have him present tomorrow.
Is that this Thursday?
Yes,
Is it a public safety building meeting?
that's what I thought it was. Is that the 20th?
Yes, it's.
Also, was any objections? No, nothing after that.
Yeah, technically, no, hasn't been set up yet, but that was that was the email we sent out asking.
Is that going over the RFP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Since it hasn't been like set in stone yet, we pushed it to 6:30. The public safety building.
That work? I can, yeah, we can do that.
Or 5 and 6, whatever. Up to you guys.
Yeah, let's just do the 5 and 6. We'll just keep it at 6 o'clock.
Five to-
Yeah. So it'll be 5 o'clock.
five rather than 5:30.
And what are we calling this workshop?
Workshop, yep, for transfer station and rec equipment. So if you put that on the website, then the website and the door. Sure. ATV access routes. I thought you was running the show.
Well, I'm the backup.
Okay.
I stepped down to vice. I had to.
How you doing? I'm Bob Spear, president of the Denmark ATV Club. Thanks for your time. I just wanted to put this on the table. You all know that the state road access route from Dugway to Lord's Hill Road was closed by Maine DOT. I won't go into all of it. That happened and what. We started the process, so we still haven't opened our last open appeal with Maine DOT, who has the decision on that access. The state ATV, director in Augusta defers to DOT for this. So we have an open appeal. This is our last appeal process, according to their rules, to try to get that access route. I started this with Dick Norcross. We got
2 years ago, wasn't it?
little over a year ago. We had a letter from the town suggesting that there's this from Lord's Hill Road to the intersection here with a gas station. Basically, that's the biggest issue I think that we have, because there's only one way to get to, and that's over the bridge to get to Denver. And that issue is based on the fact that once you get past the market, the road speed is 50 miles an hour. And at 50 miles an hour, DOT will not approve ATV access unless there's a paved shoulder on the road that you could ride on. So that basically shut that conversation down. Even though the road had been fixed up since this started, the shoulder was repaired, but the speed limit is the limiting factor. So the letter that you folks put together with Dick suggested dropping the speed to 40 miles an hour. Basically about 1.1 miles down that road. And then we felt that we could go back to the person there and request the access and get the access. Dick started that process, and of course he dropped off. I continued as best I could going back and forth. The situation is that there's two people in DOT that are responsible for this. One of them is responsible for giving ATV access or denying it and reviewing the roads. A separate person is responsible for speed limits. What they've been doing with me is bouncing me back and forth. And pushing back, and the person with the speed limit says, well, even if you change speed limits, it doesn't mean ATVs can go there. And I said, I know, you know. And the other guy is saying, well, look, I have no control over speed. And the bottom line is, I don't think I really have no authority with them. I mean, it needs to come, when it comes to a speed limit change, it needs to come from the town. On the speed limit side, I have a copy of an email chain that's gone back and forth. I have the two contacts here. What I'm asking for really is if someone could take up the cause with us, represent the town, if you still feel the same way that you did when we started this in terms of supporting that effort. Get a member assigned to it. We have the contacts. I can help you with the background, whatever is needed, and see if we can push it through. I really don't know what else to do with DOT. Just to fill in the rest of the story, Main Street is not a problem. They took our signs off of Main Street, but that's because they closed the access on that end. Getting to Dugway, there's one remaining issue, which is coming off of Dugway when you make if you're coming down Dugway and you make that right-hand turn, they want that brush cut back for line of sight, to open up the line of sight. So they said there's a line of sight issue there for ATVs, and they'd like that trimmed back to support that. But conversation I had with the person was that if that can be done, he doesn't see any problem with it. So to me, the big issue is the speed limit, and then go back to the person in charge of ATV access. And I think we'll be able to get through that and open it up. It's a matter of whether we want to pursue this for the club. It basically breaks the club in half. A lot of members in Brownfield have, basically stepped back from the club because that shut down. So, they can't get to any of our off-road trails in Denmark without that access. People still ride the road if you've ever seen it, but we have to put up signs on both ends saying that it's closed. We have to take it out of the maps and out of the communication with the state because DOT says it's not an approved access route. So if we're gonna go forward with it at this point, I've been back and forth with them, till I'm blue in the face and really getting nowhere. I need some help. If you feel that it's something that's important and someone's willing to give it some time, then I'm happy to work with you and we'll see what we can do.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I just got three things to mention. Hopefully this will help. Hopefully this will help. There's campgrounds. There's 3 sets of campgrounds right there.
All right.
50 miles an hour. And also, as you come on Lord's Hill Road, because that's where we live.
All
It's
right.
on Lord's Hill Road, and you got that sharp turn. Well, if you stop and you look, there's no cars coming, but just as you stop, because you get that, they're right there.
All right.
So that might help. I don't know.
Yeah.
I made good money off it.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, some of that was mentioned in the letter that we sent the last time to them.
But what about, did you ever mention the fact that they allow snow machines to cross the bridge?
that's another thing.
I didn't want to disrupt anything with the snowmobile.
Well, I
So I
know.
never pointed anything to say someone else is doing it.
That,
Because I didn't want to create an issue for any
Well,
other.
no, I don't need it, but it's just what's fair for one's fair for the other.
The difference is the snowmobiles come on to the road right before the bridge on on this side, and then they get off into the campground.
Right.
So
Just a short-
technically, you don't need permission from DOT to go 1,500 feet on a state road.
right,
And it's less than 1,500 feet when they get on and get off. And they really don't need an official access route to do that. I don't know if they got one or not. There's no signs on the road saying access route for snowmobiles. But technically they don't need it. If we're talking about a little over a mile, so and then Main Street is considered a state road.
Well, I was of the understanding that one of the reasons they wouldn't reopen it was because of the bridge.
So I have
That's why they said it.
their official response. They listed several things. The speed limit was a big one. Bridge they thought was fairly narrow.
It is.
It is narrow. Then the issue with Doug Way, well, they didn't like the intersection crossing 113, dangerous intersection. I talked to the person responsible for the access routes, and we talked through all of that. And I believe that if we can resolve the speed limit, he'll be okay. I mean, but I basically said is, yeah, the intersection is dangerous one, but it's no less dangerous for a car or a motorcycle or anybody crossing that intersection than it is an ATV.
Right.
So the road is marked for safety with stop signs for every vehicle coming to that intersection, because we're not talking about a trail. It's a road that's already posted so that people can safely cross that intersection. And so I think we'll be okay. The bridge, I talked to him and, I basically said, look, I cross that bridge in my truck when there's a log truck coming the other way and I have enough room. So, if I wait my turn for an ATV and I go across and there's somebody coming the other way, there's no issue with space on the bridge to get an ATV across the bridge. Obviously you can't pull over, so you have to wait your turn to cross, and if there's cars coming, you let them go, and then you go across, So this is where we are. The person that's responsible for the speed has been pretty short with me. He just directs me to a state website for what the town has to do to request changes to speed. It's, in my opinion, which I don't know anything about this stuff, but I read through the link to the website. It's a ridiculous amount of requirements that they ask from the town. But I don't know if that's hard and fast rule. What it says is that if the town wants to change the speed limit, they need to take responsibility for the speed limit on all state roads in the town. And then they need to do engineering surveys to justify the speed limit change and safety requirements and all of that. I don't know if that's just what the website says or what they actually do. I can't imagine towns doing that to address speed limit. If new houses went up or something and you want to lower the speed, I can't imagine that, towns would have to go through all that to get a change, but. I also know that Denmark requested some speed limit changes this past year. Don't know if they were approved, but I know they're dealing with the same person. So it might be something that we could garner from them in terms of how well it's gone or what the process is, if they've made any progress. So I'm just kind of at the point where we're saying, if we can't resolve it, as the president, when I get questions from, people in Brownfield asking about that access route, I have to tell them it's not available. From a legal perspective, we don't have access.
All right.
And, so I tell them, if you're gonna ride it, you're riding at your own risk. You could be stopped for being on that road. And we just have to keep it that way until something changes. And, So far, I haven't been able to make any progress, so.
Well, I'll be willing to put my 2 cents with.
Willing to have, that would be fantastic. I can give you this just to give you some background, just print it out. This, the appeal that was sent in and the response, email response, but we can just talk on the phone. You've had a chance to look at it, and then, we can connect with this person at DOT. I have not spoken on the phone to the person responsible for the speed limits. The other guy seems like a nice guy, but he's basically saying, till something changes there's nothing I can do.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, but I appreciate your help. Hopefully we can make some progress with it and get back. I mean, we never had a problem using it before. So hopefully we can get back to just opening out.
I was here, so I know how it got shut down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just got a couple of questions.
We had a person here in town. Like a really big stink, and they even went to the state.
Yeah,
They wanted to get the ATVs off Dugway,
and everything else.
all the town.
it was just a phone call, basically,
Yeah.
that caused them to take a look at that access route. And, I had been told that we had access on that road from the director of ATVs in Maine.
Because I sent in the form,
Did the whole form.
I
for
did the whole
access.
form, that same year I started the club.
Yep.
And I, kept calling Brian Bronson. I haven't heard nothing yet. No, you're all set, you're all set. And then when he took over, he did the same thing and he told them the same thing, so we presume we always had the access,
And then
so.
when the call was made, someone checked and DOT basically said, we never approved it.
Yeah. So,
Even though, I don't know how that fell through, because then they couldn't find the paperwork, the original request, it just spun into this. And then they came out and inspected the whole thing and this is where we are.
yeah,
It's not-
No, I live on the Dugway, and it's always a pleasure to see the ATV people with their families enjoying the Dugway Road.
it is.
Yeah.
I even gone by it, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah, everybody waves. It's really great to see you on the road.
Yeah, this, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we've been able to, control everything else. Awesome.
The bridge down here, I understand that that's gonna be redone.
I haven't heard nothing.
I am, Kenny Richardson told me this a couple years ago, that within the next few years, that's gonna be redone, rebuilt.
We haven't been notified.
All right, so my question is, if you get notified of it, is there any way that could, add a few,
I hope they take the sidewalk.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was just a thought, cause I got thinking about that, Kenny said they're gonna redo the bridge. And so if they did that, then maybe we could add a few more feet for, the snow machines and the ATV. I don't know what the process is, but that's just a thought. And also on the road access, when I talked with them, they said, Bob talked with them, the special signs that they require and that they put up themselves and they charge us $100 a piece.
200
We-
days to put up a sign.
We do the sign, we buy their signs, we buy the signs right from White Signs, and they said that was fine. We could put the signs up ourselves, so I just want you guys to know that, if they mention it. Cause somebody had donated $800 for those signs. And I put one up on Dugway, those, the metal signs, they're the regular road legal signs. I get them right from Dugway for like $40 a piece. And I bought $400 worth, so we still got $400 worth to use them on. So, okay, and another thing, if by chance in the town garage, the town shed or whatever, if they have extra signposts that they're not using, they're junk or whatever, Is there any possible way they could donate them to the club, so if we have to put them out, we have some signposts?
I guess I'm at the shop, I'll give you.
Okay, such a deal.
But I think they're 10 quarters.
Okay, all right, Bob, now you talk, I'm done.
No, I think. You can touch base on the phone or whatever you like and see what you think.
Yeah,
See if you have any thoughts. And I just say we start with the person responsible for the speed. And maybe we can get them on the phone and just see, where do we stand? What do they really need from the town to get it done?
right.
Um,
Well, I'll look into it for sure.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
The CRC, appointment letters are all been re-signed. There was a problem with those, so that's all gonna go. The MMA contact information list has been updated and we'll go to MMA. That's all signed. Make a motion to appoint Miss Patty Drain as the FOIA officer.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Sign.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it out.
I hate to be that mean to you, but so much I do.
You know, Betty,
We have the Freedom of Access Act fee and request policy. This will be, if approved this evening. The town of Brownfield requested all four requests be submitted in writing to the Freedom of Access Act officer, who will delegate the request to the appropriate department within the town. The officer will keep record of all four requests and the information provided to the requester. In the event that the officer is unavailable, vacation, sick leave, etc., the Board of Selectmen will act as the interim officer and acknowledge receipt of request and delegate the request to the appropriate department. Fees. Maine's Freedom of Access Act law authorizes custodians of public records to charge fees for responding to records requests. Copying. Custodian will charge a state fee of 10 cents per page. Mailing. The custodian will charge the actual cost of mailing. Converting. The custodian will charge for the actual cost of converting a record into a comprehensive or usable form. Staff time. The custodian will charge the state fee of $25 per hour after the first hour to cover the cost of staff time for searching for, retrieving, and compiling records, including reviewing and redacting confidential information. The custodian may not charge a person for merely inspecting a record unless the record cannot be inspected without being compiled or converted. See above. If the estimated total cost of responding to a records request exceeds $50, the custodian must inform the requester before proceeding. If the estimated total cost exceeds $100, or if the requester has previously failed to pay costs, the requester may pay in advance. The custodian may, but is not required to, waive part or all of these costs if the requester is indigent, or release of the requested records is in the public interest. I'll make a motion that we accept and institute this policy.
Second.
All in favor? So with Thursday at 6, correct? Perfect. That'll be the public safety building meeting. Let's see. Okay, Fen Hill project. We got this February 12th. It's from Matt Streeter. Attached, please find a proposed contract with Drew Corp for the Fen Hill project culvert replacement, including technical specs. I am thinking that the select board should approve this, and then I can get it signed by Drew Corp, get their bonds, etc. Then after Drew Corp signs it, as the select board chair should sign it last. What do you think? Also, the follow-up to our discussion regarding budget, we would need the town to vote for $15,000 to go toward the project, combined with the Maine DOT grant and the Truck Unlimited funds that would cover the full cost of the project, which I believe we got 225,000 from this Make sure that was the last number we got. So. I'll make a motion that we. Finalize this 3 year, 4 year deal here. And we utilize the 15,000 out of the road improvement plan. So I will make that motion.
So,
I'll second it. The money's there, right?
Yes, I talked to him, we have. That's why I was specific on the line.
Right.
Well, this is, I mean, I'm glad we got the main DOT grant. It was 215, like that. So,
what's short of limited gave us a bunch,
yeah,
25 or something,
yeah, so,
you know.
all right, good,
Yep,
all right, all in favor? Okay. All right, so if you can reach out to Matt Streeter, get that flood down, I'll come and sign it. Need to discuss. From Trumbull's Insurance, it's a policy change endorsement. It's an additional $537 for the year. We had the insurance guy here, I can't remember his name, nice fellow,
Phil,
but he went around and looked and we upgraded. Because my question was, our tax value, our assessed value is more than what we were insured for. So like, why would we do that? So they came in, adjusted everything after they did their walk around. And it was an additional 537. So we're good with that. Actually, this is with the Fenn Hill project.
Oh, okay.
The workman's comp, incentive program. I will, could you contact MMA and request what all is entailed in doing this program so that we can discuss it next week? I should turn that off. We got a email. I want to follow up on an email sent January 29th regarding BEAD funding that is available for your area to build broadband infrastructure for residents. I just went through this. Can you forward this to Eric Walker and copy all what forward on it?
Okay.
Can ask about this where we just disbanded the Eastern Slope Regional Broadband, kind of, I don't know what to think of this one here.
Okay.
With funding. Thank you. Okay, we got Maine DEP launched a special grant round to boost waste diversion. Grant submission is being accepted by Maine DEP to help develop, implement, or enhance projects, programs, or activities aimed at increasing the diversion of organic waste from disposal. It's a waste of time, Bill. I mean, we tried this,
Yeah.
it cost us a lot of money, and it's just too rural, and just the whole checkup thing, yeah. I mean, that was a pretty cool machine they built down there. Yeah, but, yeah. I'll let you go.
Oh. I think that's just an email.
Workshop, or is there, what do we do for that? Commercial.
I've got the
That's
same,
a public safety building committee meeting.
I've got the same email.
You do that.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a date set for the transfer station truck workshop?
Yeah, I thought we were doing that.
What's that?
Thursday at 5,
Thursday at 5?
transfer station truck.
Okay,
Tractor for the.
yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, this Thursday at 5.
Yeah.
Whether it was Willie.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, post Willie on the first.
Stop here.
Okay.
Well, you answered one of my questions already. And, oh, have you heard anything legally on, Cornhill Road?
Yes, have, that's for next Tuesday.
Oh, she got a voicemail to be here tonight.
Parties, well, all parties for the 25th. Yes.
Is that on website by any chance? No.
Oh, I just got information from it,
Okay,
so,
so that's
yes.
Tuesday the 25th?
Yep.
Next week.
And I believe y'all, Mort, and I can't remember that lady's name.
Mary?
Yeah, the one that lives up on top of it. Yes, they also. Yeah. I did have a conversation with, Walt Pugsley Jr. Lengthy conversation. He has zero problems coming in here. That man has all the old maps, all the old deeds. He's got a file. He knows everything out there. He spoke to the second owner of all of that property. He used to go have coffee with, I believe her name is Helen, or someone like that. That owned
Eleanor, yeah,
all of that property.
yeah.
And what she called it the heater piece. And that's that cutoff by Morris. Kemper, she's the one that gave it that name. That was the heater piece. That was cut in for the Model A's to get up and down that hill. Because of gravity feed and they tipped up, they had to back up the hill. So what they did is they cut that in. And that was for the Model A's to traverse to go up and over. There's an old sawmill up there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of logging that happened for a long time. We're talking like a 30-year stretch of continuous logging, select cut. But I did have a lengthy conversation with Pudge. So yes, we
took a hike up there when we first bought it to see his sawmill, to see his own sawmill set up at the top of that hill.
Pudge didn't run the sawmill. That was another family.
Okay.
Another people who were doing it. He was just logging, select cut, logging off different properties. He owned, I think, 2 pieces, sold them off, but he had logged for other owners of property up there as well.
So he's got the whole story.
He's got every bit of it.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, smart man. And he's got all the paperwork too. He's even got all his permits that he filed with the state, because they had to file for, whatever. For permitting, he's got all that. He's got all his paperwork in line. So
we'll be able to make a decision.
yes. Yes. Ms. Patty? And then,
No, sir.
oh, wait a minute, though. Put the badge away, then we'll talk. What's up?
It's been several days now, lost in the snowstorms, I guess, but the safety committee, the last time we met, the committee voted to change to the quarterly meeting, which is what has been suggested from MMA and everybody else right along. And while I mentioned the safety committee, Alvina was coming to those meetings and was taking notes, etc. So I'm wondering if that individual's position, if that person would be assigned.
Sounds like it to me.
Sound like another job.
Now, if there's any number of manuals or whatever in the office that you occupy, that I will come running in. Now, if I come running in and I'm wearing the badge, you salute.
Yeah.
Wise, I'll just say, take a look at this bid. I'm not trying to take up your day. But I am going to ask sometime for you to tell me what day we could take a half hour or so to go over all of the stuff that you're gonna hear me babbling about, half of which will be directed to you, if that's okay. You pick the time and I'll come in and we can talk a little bit. That's all right. Okay, good. Thank you. Now this one, I'm almost hesitant to say I'm gonna put this one off until June or whatever. But since it's semi-weather related and reminded health, so type stuff, the community center. I wish I could remember better than I do as far as this conversation went, but I do remember people, and I don't even know if it was the Board of Selectmen or the crowd that I get lost in over at the post office, but there was talk of the community center will be a warming center in case of a disaster or something, and there'll be beds available. And now an individual has emailed me and said, even talk, and it almost sounded like people were talking money about getting a generator of some sort to provide electricity, whatever, if it was necessary. So, since I've been asked, because of the surroundings with the snow and ice and wind, if it were to happen, is that available to be a warming center? And do we have a bunch of beds stashed somewhere?
Dickie, you got cots, right?
No, we don't. I have access to cops as the EMA director.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
We got access.
how about the heater? If the electricity goes?
There's no access to the generator.
Okay, so we're halfway there. They can snuggle on a mattress, but it's gonna get a little nippy.
The good thing is that at least the community center is on the municipal loop. So it's priority for power restoration.
Okay,
I believe fire department goes all the way down to the 160 corner, right?
Yeah.
Municipal loop, and then back down.
Yeah. Way a warming center operates is the EMA director opens that up.
Okay.
They let me know and I make that call to open it up.
all right, I can inform the inquiring people.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You gonna share some of the ARPA funds? What the hell, man?
I've been looking at that number. Buter, Curacao, something. What was it, 178,000?
178 is what we got.
I could probably get out of Maine with that.
No, it's all gone. We already spent it.
Oh, you got.
No, we already spent it. Hold on. We got slush funds, dude. Come on.
You can.
Do you like?
So when I get the next email, should I just say we're broke?
Yes.
Oh. That's no, yeah.
Always spend it.
I'll get it.
Anybody else?
I don't know what I
No
do.
yelling.
No.
Okay. Perfect.
Because we town office was closed last week, our budget meeting was canceled.
Mhm.
Now I am looking if it's possible then. I believe the department head see you about budgets, like, Cliff did. Are we in a position to hold the next budget meeting to include the department heads from the 10th and the 24th? I don't think it's gonna take all that long. Actually, the budget, yeah. And that way, in March, we just have the administration and we're on track.
That sounds good.
I will put out an email to the budget committee members. The whole budget meeting on the 24th at 6 o'clock.
Okay,
We will just go from there. So,
all right,
I'll
that sounds
send
good.
that email out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Nope. Good. I make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thanks, folks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
They would not come in.
Great.
Yeah. And no one wants to do it.
No.
It's like trying to look up in
I think sometimes the button. Kathleen Lee. She's one of them.
Thanks, folks.
Good night, thank you. No, you have a good day.
Oh, great. Here, every time I go out.
Right.
Well, Rick had called up here all night long. I called Nate, I called. That's camera, Washington. Consistently 20 mile an hour. That's no question.